Director James Gunn and DC have revealed a first look photo at actor David Corenswet in his Superman outfit, and the internet is not liking it, and neither am I. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. Wrote this up over at thatparkplace.com, and numerous people reacted to this first look at David Corenswet as Superman, and they said no, and they proceeded to mock it. So this is the first look. You can see here, Cornsweet is sitting in an office chair in what looks to be almost like an empty room with a big window. Doesn't look like there's anything else really going on. Maybe he does use this as a changing room or something like that in the Daily Planet. But you can see he's putting on his boot as there's some kind of cataclysmic event happening in the background. I've seen lots of theories. There's an idea that this is some kind of living planet a la what we saw in Ego in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, some kind of living sun that's in the DC universe. I'm not really familiar with that character. I've also seen that is a battle happening, and you see like Green Lantern kind of blasting against some kind of I don't know, villain shooting a giant purple ray up into the air, and it's kind of creating that explosion, and that's why there's like a big giant ball there. Other people have been mocking it, like that's Vegeta using the Gaelic gun. So lots of people making comments on that, trying to figure out what that is. But I think probably some of the biggest complaints are the fact that he's sitting in this office building, putting on his shoe while this is all happening, instead of Superman going out, tearing open his shirt and charging in to kind of deal with whatever is happening, or having him in some action pose. He's like kind of very passive here, doesn't really seem to care, looks really nonchalant, and doesn't really look like something Superman would be doing. And let's get into what some of what these people said. Here's one from Renuzzo Art, he basically memed it and was like, good Lord, what is happening out there? And has a character from The Simpsons pointing out the window as Superman just putting on his boot, not caring. Kind of making fun of that. Here's Mark Red Believer saying, why is he slowly putting on his boots when Metropolis is under attack? Exactly. That was probably my first reaction, was the fact that he doesn't care. Like, there's a giant cataclysmic event happening. There's a battle happening outside of his window, and he's just putting on a boot. It's like, this is not Superman. This is not something Superman would do. Why would you share this as a first look, giving people your first impression? It's not very smart. Not very smart. Damon Toll says, is this supposed to look like bad AI? Other people kind of criticize the suit and says, why does the suit look baggy? I swear, if y'all ruined Superman for me again. I see that. It's kind of the way he's like bending down and putting the boot up. I think it's kind of mainly like the way there's like the shoulders are designed. There's some kind of like crease there. And I don't know if that's like where if that's something that the cape is tied into underneath him, or what's going on there. But you can see it on both sides. And I think that's really kind of the complaint. And that's part of the design of the suit potentially. And it's just a poor design. I think on at least the way especially in that position that he's in. We have Nova Artist here saying, I thought this was a cosplay. Obviously not happy with the suit and the way he's posed. And here's another, meanwhile, back on the pod, says, looks like the materials are far too heavy and bulky. They're bunching up and folding in some weird places. And with trunks, like, why? Especially if it's the same heavy material. This is definitely my least favorite of the Superman suits. Really Muerto says, why couldn't they have used Henry Cavill again? Yeah, kind of blows everything that James Gunn had to say out of the water. It's all like just excuses. We've never gotten the truth from him about that. I think he eventually said after he was done kind of like basically lying to everyone, he was like, well, he's just not my Superman. And it was like, you should have said that from the beginning. I think honesty goes a long way. And I hate when these people like lie, even if they're lying by omission. Kenneth says Metropolis is literally under attack, and he is doing that. I agree. What in the world is he doing? Why is he putting on his boot as the world is under attack? Metropolis is under attack. Nina Infinity said this: why does Superman look like he's getting ready for a leisurely stroll around the park when there is a giant thing happening in the background? There is no urgency in this pick. At least he's got the Superman curl. So she found a positive. I will agree. Superman curl. He does have that. But no urgency. It's not inspiring. This is not, Superman isn't just going to sit around putting a boot on. He's going to be out there charging into battle, figuring out what's going on, and confronting it head on. She added this: I figured out why the new Superman image seems off, because it's an effeminate pose. It's not a good pose for a man that's supposed to be the strongest man in the universe. She kind of shared a side by side there. I'm not sure who that actress is. You guys, if you know who it is, let me know in the comments below, as I'm sure you will. I think she's stretching a little bit here. I put snow boots on all the time to go shovel the driveway and things like that. And that's kind of how you have to put your boot on. Like, that's how you put boots on. But I do think that, like, why are we seeing him put his boot on? I just don't understand this. There's no reason why we need to see how Superman puts his suit on. Usually he already has it on because he's ripping his shirt off and he's going out into battle, right? We don't need to see, or he's hopping in a telephone booth, even though we don't really have telephone booths anymore. And he does his little spin around and he's back out, and he's off into battle. Or he just runs through a door and he's Superman the next time we see him. Like, I don't need to see how he puts his clothes on. It's utterly ridiculous and dumb. It doesn't matter. The guy moves really fast. He puts his clothes on in a snap, and he's out there fighting the battle. I don't need to see him slowly putting a boot on. I mean, it really makes me question, what do these people even know anything about Superman? Like, and I'm sure James Gunn defenders will be like, oh, James Gunn has forgotten more about Superman than you'll ever remember. Probably. And I'm just like, clearly not. This is what he's giving us. It's a fundamental lack of these characters. And I think it's actually a fundamental lack of heroism. It's a fundamental lack of true morality. It's a fundamental lack of why Superman does what he does, because these people are so detached from Superman's creation. They're so detached from truth, justice, and the American way. They don't even know what those words mean anymore. They cannot, because they're so detached, they cannot actually make something that is true to Superman, because they don't even understand those concepts anymore. They see them as a foreign language that they do not know. So that's kind of my rant on this. I'm not really looking forward to this film. I probably won't go see it in theaters. Definitely, if I do go see it, it'd probably be like week 2. Wait for other people's reactions. This isn't like a have to go and see it, especially after this first look at me. I mean, this is completely uninspiring. This is your first impression, and this is what you're going to give me. This is just unimpressive. Not impressed. You're not winning me over. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable to each other, but to always speak the truth.